Okay, this is 252 Pop Fiction, and you'll find all the news and reviews in pop culture that's right to type. Today's top story.
In an effort to promote health and fitness, online workouts are happening across the nation via Skype, Zoom, and through many social media platforms. Now, is that a new thing? I do DDP yoga. He's had live online workouts for like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, there's places like I thought Peloton was one that does it, and there's other places that do it. But now that since we've been doing a lot of this self quarantine shelter in place, even like Facebook Live, like my lady, she has her gym. Obviously, the gym is now closed, but the instructors still do the classes, like on Facebook Live and stuff. And so at the time, they throw it out. Hey, we're going to get together at 5:30, and we're going to do a class. And some of them even record the classes, so even if you don't make the class, you can still watch the video and get your workout in. Because what we don't want is to end up like the people from Wall-E that were so fat they had to be on those.
That's cool. So they've brought it to a wider audience than the people who were already focused in that direction, which is very cool.
Right.
But as far as people, a lot of people say, oh, if I stay home, I'm going to get fat. I'm like, well, if you stay home too long, we're going to run out of food. You'll be thin.
Yeah, you know what? As of right now, though, there's enough to go around, and you can mess around and gain a lot of weight.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A lot
the
of
person
weight.
eating bags of chips and Big Macs and stuff is not going to be doing themselves a favor for sure.
Also, Netflix is currently in talks with actor Ryan Reynolds to take up the starring role in the live-action Dragon's Lair adaptation. Now, I see the smirk. Like, okay, first, I would have to say...
that makes sense. Yeah.
I love Dragon's Lair, and I remember exactly where it was in the gold mine. It was like on the left-hand side wall. You walk about halfway through, boom. But you had to sink so much money in that game if you actually wanted to see the whole story.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if I could correct me if I'm wrong, that was a Don Bluth / because he did the animation, right? Don Bluth did the animation for that.
Yeah.
And there was the other guy who was the programmer. I can't remember his name right now.
Nobody remembers his name.
Right.
It was all about the animation, because really all that was like an animation broken into chunks, and as long as you hit the button in the right direction at the right time, you got the next chunk. But they made it really hard to hit that chunk because they wanted 50 cents every 30 seconds.
Yeah. Yes, and I want to say that was in the beginnings of laser disc technology, so they were using it,
Oh, yeah. Remember when you would hit the right direction, or if you didn't, it would clunk, and then you get that black screen, and then you get the thing that happened. So it's like, okay, loading track, here you go.
But you know what? At that time, we were more patient than, like, my kids are not patient. They need instant gratification.
Yeah.
We were a little more patient back then.
They put that on DVDs where you could play with the remote with the same buttons, basically.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it was actually quicker than the original arcade game because it didn't take as long to load. But we had Laserdisc games and we liked them, damn it! We had Mach 3, we had Cobra Command, we had Firefox. Now, those things were cool, but they were like $1 sometimes.
Yes.
And really, the games were not that good. They were just flashy. Like, oh, look, movies.
I want to say the other one was Space Ace.
Oh, yeah? Space Ace.
Space Ace.
And Ralphie D would want me to throw in a shout out to Super Don Quixote.
What was that guy's name? It was Dirk the Daring.
Yeah.
And Princess Daphne.
That's her. It was Princess Daphne, but she was. That was probably part of the appeal to us as 10-year-old boys because she was rather scantily clad and well drawn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they put extra money into that attract mode, pulling those quarters, man. Plus, it was the loudest machine in the entire gold mine. Dragon's Lair, like from anywhere you were.
And we would steadily thunk, just slinging tokens in there.
Yeah, I tried to watch other kids play it because 50 cents, fuck that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Disney Plus has some casting announcements. Appearing in The Mandalorian Season 2, we have Michael Biehn and Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano, which has actually pissed off a bunch of people. And supposedly Sasha Banks as well. Now, see, I think Rosario can be Ahsoka just fine, but a lot of people are very upset that they didn't cast her voice actress. because
You know
that's
what?
her. It's like, well,
Yeah, no, I get it as the voice actress. Yeah, they wanted to. They could have. Oh God, what was her name? Ashlyn.
Ashley Eckstein.
Yeah. She does get the credit for having the voice in the last Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking more of now. This is just for the creator, Dave Filoni. Like taking that character, making that an original character for the Clone Wars. And then I don't know about you, but I remember I got pretty excited when she popped up in Rebels. And I was like, hey, because she was older, because she was like a kid in the Clone Wars. And then they're showing her mature. So now in the time of the Mandalorian, she'll be about in her early to mid 40s. And I felt like Rosario Dawson. I feel like Rosario. She's been like, first of all, she likes doing genre pieces. She played basically one of the night nurses in those Netflix Marvel series. Like she's really all in, and she's been like openly talking about wanting to play this character.
Right.
Yeah,
I think she'll be just fine. She'll get it, and she's already got the look. Basically. If you look at her face, the way it is aged, it looks very Ahsoka-like, minus the tendrils.
And I know we were talking, off camera about this, but if Sasha Banks is playing Sabine Wren, I'm like,
it could be.
Because
that would make good sense, man. She would look the part. She would be the right, Plus, they need that because, Mandalorian spoilers. They got to do something with that Darksaber.
Yeah, and this, as far as I know, all principal photography is already done on the Mandalorian.
Yeah. They said they shot it, and now they're telling you who was in it already.
Yeah, but I did hear, or not hear, read that post-production work is actually taking longer than it used. Well, because even when you got to do a lot of the mixing and stuff, people are mixing from home and sending it in, and when they're scoring it, to try to get like a live orchestra together is not like, it's kind of hard to Skype it in. If somebody has a bad connection, it's like you missed the spot.
Yeah, they may have to call in some heavy duty samplers for this if they keep it up too long.
Yeah.
They'll get it scored, but the more people have to fake it, the harder it is than actually recording the orchestra directly.
Right. Okay, so, and this week's review, Dark Side of the Ring, Chris Benoit, parts 1 and 2. Vice's documentary series is back for season 2 and opens with the tragic murder/suicide of the Benoit family. Watch to see this story retold by the people closest to the wrestler. Narrated by Chris Jericho, JR, Chavo Guerrero Jr., Vicky Guerrero, and David Benoit. This just dropped a couple days ago. I ate the first two, parts 1 and part 2. I will have to say that they did kind of taggle the line from like humanizing Chris Benoit, but also realizing and also saying that he was a murderer. He did.
He did that shit they said he did, right?
Yeah, man. And it was like, and to get like the full story, because up until a couple days ago, I never knew the full story about how the tragic end, and I don't want to spoil anything right now. Go out, watch it, have your own thing. But there was definitely a part, I will say this, there was a part where they said that people physically saw the change in Chris Benoit after Eddie Guerrero passed away. After Eddie died, Chris changed. And the hard, gruff guy, the stoic dude that everyone saw behind closed doors was grief-stricken and crying and sobbing uncontrollably because he just missed his friend. It was hard to watch. And then to see the darkness that went after that, that was rough. But the end all is you can't find the Benoit on anything as far as the in the WWE channel, like there.
Mostly, yeah. There's very few bits that they couldn't do anything with, but almost everything else has been either pulled out or muted references and everything else,
Yeah.
right?
Right. And so when you even have like David Benoit on there, he was like, I still love my dad, but I lost my dad. I lost my brother, I lost my stepmom. And he was like, and they were like, how many of the WWE people reached out to you during this time? That was kind of shocking because it's like, you can't blame David for what his dad did, but it's a whole, I, I would have to say, I saw Dark Side of the Ring season 1. I loved everyone, and I even said the last time I did the review, I challenge anybody not to squirt a tear when they were talking about the Von Erich family. What
Oh
they
yeah,
went through.
jeez.
My
That's
God,
cursed pretty much.
my God, yeah. But this one was another one where I definitely squirted some on this one. It was like a little wet around the eyes. It was rough.
Yeah, well, a lot of, the vast majority of wrestlers wind up screwy in their, advanced years because of the abuse they take and the medicines that they abuse to suffer the abuse that they take.
Mm-hmm.
But, in that era particularly, they were doing the extreme thing. Everybody was leaping off of cages and getting smashed in the head with chairs and shit.
They actually, it's funny that you just mentioned that because that's one thing that they did. They said there was a tremendous, and he said some of the wrestlers were saying that, you know what, that was almost like a badge of honor, like to take a chair shot. Yeah. They said there's nothing you could do but stand there, tighten up, hold your teeth, and just take it. It's not, can't really,
They can't even and don't bother to gimmick those chairs. Those are just straight up folding chairs like you'd sit on at the arena.
Yeah. Give me that chair.
we had the, I was the sound guy luckily and only had to participate in ring a few times, but, I worked with an Extreme Wrestling organization that, those fuckers went through chairs and tables. It's just an Office Depot table that someone's about to get thrown through. Boom! Why did it break? Did you guys rig the table? No, 600 pounds of fat bastard just fell on it. It broke. That was no tricks.
No tricks. How many?
All right.
I can't even imagine. But again, I'm just going to say, for the record, because I really want to spoil this whole thing. I really want to talk about everything that they said. It was so compelling. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend Dark Side of the Ring.
Good stuff. All right, well, Frank G recommends Star Trek Picard. Picking up 20 years after we last saw him, this is a story about a retired admiral nearing the end of his well-traveled life. And he's old and crusty in this one, at least at the beginning. Keeping spoilers out of it, I'll say things happen, and he winds up being pulled back into action. One last adventure, one more attempt to make things right in the universe. He gathers a new team, calls on some old friends, and goes off on a plan that most people would consider crazy. So the story was unfolding kind of slowly, and a lot of people were complaining about this as it went along. But now that the whole thing's out there, you can binge it and see that they had a plan. They were telling a story that took him from point A to point B, and definitely prepared them for more seasons if you're a fan that is into Picard. So I could have lived without the R-rated gore and drilling somebody's eyeball out in what has been a family-friendly franchise up until now. But Discovery already broke that rule. They had F-words, they had violence, they had decapitations, and some Klingon titties. So Picard gets 4 252s, Discovery gets 3 252s. Use some of your free time, go catch up on 50 years of Star Trek.
Two things. First of all, Picard, that's on CBS All Access. Is that there?
Yes, which actually is free right now due to all this mess. So for people who want to log on there, they have you can catch up on all of this stuff that they have locked behind their paywall for a month.
And the
WWE Network is free too, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's probably two good things I can actually say, I'm a segue and then I'm a segue back. First I'm going to say is I've had a lot of time to catch up on a lot of things. I've actually, even on my review parts, I was like, man, I got so many things to review right now. Like, I'm pretty much, I'm catching all the way up. And the other thing I was going to say is, wasn't there an edict by Gene Roddenberry about keeping it a certain way? And now
that's no longer being followed exactly. Plus, a lot of the things that he used to have to lead towards a future where this, that, and the other thing were not happening, but now they've kind of introduced a lot of the things he didn't want to happen. So, it's no longer quite the vision that he had in mind, but they have to keep it going for today's audience who thinks that old stuff was hokey. Positivity? What are you talking about? It's not dark.
I guess that's the world that we live in. But anyway, I'm Coolwater Kurt. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
I'm Casey Kasem, and this is America's Top... Wait, I'm Frank G, and I have no tagline prepared.
We like to hear what you think. Leave us a comment down below. Please, leave us a comment and let your opinion be heard.
And if you like this video, check out our other videos like This Weekend, Retro Recast, and our newest hit series, Get Into Character.
Adonis, pull yourself together.